friends, welcome to cooking school. Today we're going to make ramen noodles. This is a pretty easy meal and it's a basic staple in my house. My girls love ramen noodles, so it's kind of like a soup. So today we need to gather our ingredients. I have ramen noodles, one package. There are some other flavors as well. We have a bowl and a spoon because we'll need those to serve. I have my pot on the stove already. And then I need 2 cups of water as well as a spoon for stirring. So let's get started. We're going to look at the directions, and our directions tell us we need to boil 2 cups of water. So that means the water has to bubble. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour our water into the pan. And then we'll turn on the water, or turn on the stove. So I need the front burner, because I'm on the front burner on my stove, and I'm going to turn it, and it'll say light, and then I'll turn the flame down, because you don't want your flame bigger than the bottom of your pan. Otherwise, it's kind of a risk for fire, or a risk to burn yourself. And we always want to make sure that the handle on our stove is kind of leaning back, because otherwise it might get caught on our clothes or on something else when we're walking by and we could get hurt. So we want to make sure it's back, and we want to make sure that we're careful because remember the stove gets hot. So we're going to let the water boil. It'll take a few minutes. So we'll watch for bubbles to be created in the water. Okay guys, so the water is boiling. You can't see it from over there because when I bring it over, it stops. But see, it's steaming, and all my water has lots of bubbles in it. So now that my water is boiling, I'm ready to add my ramen. So I'm just going to open up the package at the top. And then there's a seasoning packet in here. We'll take that out and we'll set that aside for right now. And we'll take the noodles and we'll pour them in. Kind of a chunk of noodles like this, and you just put it in the water. Be careful not to touch it because it is hot. So now it says add noodles and cook for 3 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer. This time I'm going to set it on my stove for 3 minutes, and then we'll wait for the timer to beep. So while we're waiting for our timer to beep, we can read the next step of our directions. And it says, turn off heat, add contents of the flavor packet, which we just set aside, and stir well for 1 minute until flavoring is fully dissolved. And it makes 2 servings. And then it's hot, so allow it to cool before you enjoy it. While it's cooking, I'm going to use my spoon. I'm going to give it a little mix. Make sure all my noodles evenly cook, as well as break them up a little bit. Because remember, they were kind of in a block. So we'll break them up a little bit in this process. Makes kind of fun wavy noodles, and they're long. So to get ready for my flavor packet, kind of like I did with pudding, I just kind of squish it down, and then there's lines, and I'm going to rip across the top. So it's open. Uh-oh. It didn't rip far enough down. There we go. So now I have a little opening in my flavor packet and I can pour it out. So I'm going to set that down quick. I'm going to throw my garbage away. And we're going to wait for it to beep. Got lots of boiling in here. It's hot. if they stay above the water, it won't get cooked. So my timer has about 20 seconds left. We'll let that beep because we cooked it for 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1. My timer beeped, so I'm going to stop my timer. And then if we remember from our directions, we're going to turn off the stove. And I heard it click so that I know that the flame is off and also the gas on my stove. There are different stoves. You might have an electric stove or a gas stove. I have a gas one, so I want to make sure that that's all the way off. And then I'm going to remove my pot from the heat. I'm going to keep it on the stove though, so that because I'd have to be really careful. If I move it to a counter, I want to make sure that I put it on a hot pad, because otherwise I might burn my counter. So I removed it from the heat, and now I'm going to add my flavor packet in here. There we go, and then I'm going to stir it. Bring it over here so you guys can see a little bit. There's my ramen noodles. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's my ramen noodles. Mix it in, and then I can put it in a bowl to serve for eating. I want to be really careful because it's hot, remember? So I sometimes use my spoon to catch the liquid as it goes in, and then it doesn't splash. And then I'm carefully gonna slide my noodles in. Put my pan aside. I'll put it on a cool spot so that it can cool off a bit. And look at my steam. Have my spoon. And I can enjoy my ramen noodles as soon as they cool. Thanks for joining me for cooking school today, guys. Have a good one.